Your anxiety isn't yours. It's your grandmother's survival instinct still running in your nervous system. And a neuroscientist just told me the one thing that finally shuts it off. And it's not breathing exercises, it's not positive thinking, it's not just relax or simple psychology. It's something far more biological. Many of us know that we use breathing exercises, meditation, affirmations, just relax techniques when people say that, oh, go just relax. Your brain doesn't fail because you're doing something wrong or you're doing these ones wrong, but because they ask the anxious brain to do a job that it is biological incapable of doing. And I know this because I have tried them all, the breathing exercises, I trained in techniques, I became a pharmacist, I became a psychotherapist. While all my life I heard, just relax, you're taking it too serious. When an ex left me, or my ambitions didn't go through, or nobody supported me in them, I was gaslighted so much. And it wasn't just me, we all have existential problems that we couldn't solve. But science finally now tells us something very, very interesting, that this just relax pattern is neurologically impossible, and what actually works for training our brain and changing our nervous system. So when you are anxious, your brain produces high amplitude of high beta waves, fast, jagged electrical patterns associated with threat scanning and active problem solving. This is logical because when you see a threat, your brain wants to solve it. Until now, this is pure logic. But when we experience a threat, telling your brain, which is in a threat state, producing stress hormones, to just relax when it's in overdrive, is like asking a car engine at 6,000 rotation per minute to idle by taking your hands off the wheel. The engine will not slow down. It keeps roaring. This engine is your nervous system in high survival mode. So this won't work. What neuroscientists have discovered, and this is very interesting, first at Columbia and then it was validated by a team at Yale and then MIT, is that the brain, this is very important, the brain synchronizes its electrical activity to the external rhythmic stimuli. It is called neural entrainment. That is your brain in high beta wave overdrive, the electrical signature of threat detection. So if we take in all the danger from the outer world, when your brain is flooded with cortisol and running in survival mode, the prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain, is responsible for self-regulation. This part goes offline. So techniques that require top-down control simply don't work in the moment when you feel a strong anxiety or a phobia or different types of fears activated in you. So no, it's not about the fact that you are weak. It's not about just relax, because your biology is doing exactly what it was evolved to do. What I'm trying to say is that your brain is acting absolutely normal for the state that it considers it to be. What do I mean by that? What's the deeper truth? The deeper truth is we don't just react to the outer stimuli, as neuroscience says. The even more deeper truth is that we inherit the meaning of danger our brain gives to the outer stimuli. What does this mean? Because this is the part that psychology has never explained to us, and neuroscience is now catching up to this. And I love to work in this way with my clients because it has amazing results. So now you know from neuroscience, from neural entrainment, that your brain doesn't react to events, meaning if your boyfriend leaves you, it doesn't react to the event that he left you, it reacts to the meaning you gave to your event. But this meaning was inherited by your ancestor. It reacted to the meaning that you assigned to the fact that he left or she left. And here is the shocking innovation. This meaning you assign, again, it is not created by you, not by your thoughts. It is inherited epigenetically from your ancestors' survival mode. This is where Anne and Schutzenberger's work is really becoming revolutionary, because if your ancestors, for example, survived war, displacement, starvation, persecution, losing a loved one in a war, losing children, betrayal, sudden loss, then guess what? If your partner leaves, your brain will understand that external event as if you have lost your soldier, boyfriend, or husband in a war. Because the ancestor's nervous system learned what danger felt like when someone leaves or is taken away from you, and it passes that meaning down to the last descendant. So today, if your partner won't text back, your body will react in the same way as your ancestor's body reacted when he returned from the battlefield, or if he never returned from the battlefield. If someone raises their voice, your body will react as if it's danger entering your home, if that's what happened with your ancestor. If there is turbulence on a plane, your body will react as if your ancestor who was driving maybe a plane in the war, then it will act the same way because maybe that pilot didn't survive. So if you fear abandonment, your body reacts as if that abandonment means literal survival loss. So your anxiety is never about just one situation that it perceives from the outer reality. It's about the meaning your whole lineage gave to certain situations. This is why we can have phobias. This is why we can have relationship anxiety. This is what they mean when we have attachment style problems. We don't have attachment style problems. Okay, this is one meaning that psychologists assign to it, but attachment problems actually mean different kind of war situations or different kind of fears, fear of flying, fear of being rejected, fear of being judged. All these fears are very real, but the situation might be safe. Guess what? Even a breakup that happens, we shouldn't experience it so bad. But because we had 2 or 3 generations in world wars, your brain not is responding to reality. It is responding to the inherited meaning it gave to the ancestor. Again, it is responding to the inherent meaning that your ancestor gave to a real life threat happening in a war or in a life or death, real life or death situation. So many times, first, we assign a meaning that this is dangerous. 2, your body will start reacting because you got it in from the outer external circumstances. You observed something that your brain already gave the meaning that it is dangerous. 3, your brain interprets that outer reality, maybe that the guy left, as a proof. See, I knew it, that he will leave me. We get born inheriting these beliefs, and then also our parents, when we are growing up in our first 7 years, they reinforce this because we are mostly in theta and alpha waves. So everything our parents inherited, and they start redoing it because the more unconscious they are, the more they also reinforce what they have learned from their parents, but also what they inherited, how their parents died, how did they survive certain battles, certain survivals, migrations, and so on. And number 4, the cycle will repeat itself because you have been reinforced by your parents and you also epigenetically inherited it. And because the meaning it will be inherited, you often react before you think. This is why you attract a lot more of what you fear. This is why manifestation is also true. Not because of some magic weird stuff, but because you have a nervous system that stays in a loop, in an alert loop, in a survival loop. So your beta brainwaves become elevated, they become in high beta state, and your body keeps proving your belief right, that yeah, that is dangerous, until someone in the ancestry line, the last person who can do it, that's you, until you change the meaning of what it meant to that ancestor, both cognitively in the brain and somatically in your body. Until you don't do this, your brain will keep producing the same type of anxiety and the same type of brain frequencies. Why therapy alone doesn't work, and biology alone doesn't either. As a therapist, I realized something crucial. You can talk about a meaning, but your body will still react. You can calm the body, but the meaning will stay the same. Or the phobia or the fear doesn't get cured. Or maybe you attract back the same person with the alcoholic pattern that your parents had. Or a game addiction or some kind of compulsion. And you think you have evolved because you left that person. You learned your lesson, but what I'm talking to you about is during your whole life, how many times do you want to repeat the same pattern, because you will repeat it. And the thing is, we don't think longitudinally. You think, okay, this problem is resolved. If you come to think about it, how many times in your life had to repeat the same cycle of something? What I am talking to you about, why it is important to introduce ancestral trauma healing, is because you don't want to repeat it in your future 10 more times or 5 more times, the same thing in a bit lighter form. This is why traditional talk therapy, CBT, somatic therapies, exposure techniques, and mindfulness alone on their own, they are not enough. Because anxiety is not just one thing, it's a meaning that is going to be on a loop. This is why we need integrated psychotherapy plus biological work. One without the other will keep someone stuck. So you must change the story that your brain is giving certain meanings, and you must understand what is the exact blueprint or pattern that your brain is repeating on a loop. Otherwise, your nervous system will keep repeating it. It will think that it helps your survival, and it will fire the same beta frequencies, the high beta frequencies, because normally we can be in beta frequencies, but we are in this high beta state. The mind will keep interpret even safe situations as dangerous. The truth is, your anxiety is like a memory, and memories can be turned. Your anxiety isn't a character flaw, it's not weakness, it's not overthinking. It's a survival program that your ancestors actually lived. Poor guys, poor people. And we inherited certain meanings. We actually redo the same things in a different form, but we are the ones who can actually realize this consciously, so that we can finally calm our own nervous system, and we can calm this beta wave overdrive. And it's not by force, it's not by willpower, it's not by going to 30 mindfulness trainings, it's not by trying harder. In my 18 years of studying this, I wanted to understand manifestation and desires. I wanted to change my life so hard. I did try a lot of it, believe me, and when I know something works, I believe that it works. But you need to change the meaning your brain assigns to threats. You need to change the signals that the body is sending you, and the patterns that your ancestors have passed down to you. And you need to change the state of your nervous system and the state that it lives in. Your brain is not broken. It's waiting for the right input biologically, psychologically, to finally shift. Where I don't agree is, I was a pharmacist at first, and then I became a psychotherapist, because I realized that in pharmacy people don't heal. But I also realized when I became a psychotherapist, but with simple psychotherapy, it's working, but it's very slow. So integrated systems work. Biology, psychology, epigenetics, and quantum physics, if you ask me. So if you want to know more on how to create your reality based on certain blueprints that we actually inherit from our ancestors, watch my next video. And I am having live workshops to change your nervous system and change what you manifest into your reality in Vienna and Budapest. You can write an email for participation, and my assistant will give you the details. Have a great day. Bye.